Hello, my name is Ela Patel-Euler, and today I will be presenting to you how the independence of Israel broke a barrier in history. It is 73 AD. The Jewish temple is destroyed. Masada fell, and the Romans drove the Jews out of Palestine. From 73 AD, a diaspora, where a majority of the Jews lived outside of their land, made them a target of persecutions. But almost 2,000 years later, in 1948, this barrier was broken. Declaration of the State of Israel changed the geopolitical status quo by redefining military powers and economics in the region. Jews now have regained a country to protect their identity and prosper in. It is the late 1890s. Theodor Hertzl sent us to inspect the possibilities of this vision. We found that Palestine, the bride is beautiful, but she is married to another man and can't be ours. Im tirtzu, enzu agada. If you want it, it is not a fable. Guten Tag, good day. My name is Binyamin Ze'ev Theodor Hertzl. I was born in 1860. I am known as the visionary of the State of Israel. I created the political form of Zionism because Jews are not just a religion, but a national identity. During my years of being a journalist in Austria, I have witnessed countless cases of institutionalized anti-Semitism, which led me to the conclusion that the Jews need a homeland. Otherwise, a catastrophe would happen. It is time to break the barrier that the Roman Empire has created and give the Jews their country back. Sorry for the brief interruption in the timeline, but Hertzl was correct in his hypothesis that something catastrophic would happen to the Jews. The Holocaust happened, and there was no Israel to protect the 6 million Jews that were murdered. Oh dear, I think I promised a cake to those who want to eat it. I promised the Jews a homeland, but I also promised the Arabs that the Jews wouldn't disturb them. I'm knackered of this mess. I fear it is time to end the British mandate in Palestine. I'm so sorry. In all this mess that I'm in, I forgot to introduce myself. The name's Bevin, Ernest Bevin that is. And if you wanted to know, I'm the British Secretary of Foreign Affairs. The year is 1948. I have just negotiated the Portsmouth Treaty, which will allow Britain to withdraw from Palestine in such a fashion that provides a swift occupation of the territory by the Arabs. You see, Britain has a problem. We need a strong relationship with the Arab world. The oil is something just too valuable to give up. We already got ourselves into a mess by warranting an arrest on the Mufti of Jerusalem. We need to wash our hands of this conflict. Assalamu alaikum, peace to all. I am the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, and I am the leader of the Arabs in Palestine. The year is 1936, and my name is Haj Amin al-Husseini. You can call me al-Husseini. The Jews are welcome to amongst us, like always. However, this land is ours, and it will always be. You see, Muhammad ascended to heaven from Al-Quds. You call it Jerusalem, and this land is holy to us. We cannot just give it away. But even more than that, I was born here in Jerusalem, and so are my ancestors. I'm so sorry that the Romans kicked the Jews out of Palestine, but they did not expel us, and so we proliferated. Theodor Hertzl was a good man. However, he was misguided when he wanted Palestine for the Jews. We are the groom that married Palestine. the Jews cannot just throw us out. We have always lived here. And so, Hertzl was wise to suggest Uganda instead as a Jewish homeland. See, since the 20s, I tried to keep peace between the Muslims and the Jews. But in the 30s, the Jews just kept on coming from Europe and elsewhere because they were afraid of this anti-Semitism. The ridiculous Peel Committee in 1936 and the subsequent UN resolution in 1946 wanted to divide Palestine into two countries, Muslim and Jewish. Now, of course the Jews accepted it, but how could we? We are the majority, and we will fight for all of the land until we die. The British even tried to arrest me because I was fighting them. And so, I went to Europe to speak with Hitler. We agreed that the Jews were our common enemy, but unfortunately, he denied my request to help me with the Arab revolt in Palestine. Shalom, my name is David Ben-Gurion. It is Yom Shishi, Friday, May 14, 1948. The barrier that the Roman Empire has created has finally been broken. We have a country. And I have just declared the independence of Israel from the British Mandate. I am Israel's first Prime Minister. We are aware that the geopolitical landscape will be changed forever. However, we are making the desert green and creating many new advances in technology. And we are creating an Israeli identity. But now that we have a country, we need to fight for it. It's a pity the Palestinian Arabs refused the Peel Committee, as well as the UN resolution in 1936 and in 1946. We all could have had a country, and there wouldn't be any Palestinian refugees. It's also a pity that many Palestinian Arabs refuse to live amongst us as citizens of Israel. But now, the independence war is at our doors. 5 Arab countries are ready to attack us at any moment now. So I don't have much time to explain the history of the Jews and the need for a country. I believe my friend Theodor did a little bit of explaining before me. So let me just be brief and prove Ela's thesis. The Declaration of the State of Israel has indeed broken geopolitical and economic barriers in the region. We are the first and only democracy and non-Arab country in the Middle East. Israel is the land where we Jews originate from, and Israel is the country that we will be returning to. We made sure of this by having created a constitutional law that states that all Jews will be granted full and automatic citizenship, no matter where in the world they come from. We are the first and only country in history and in the world that created such a law. Without the existence of Israel, my grandmother, Shoshana, would have never been born, and I would not be here today. That is my personal break in history. Thank you.
I noticed that you had interviewed, I just really was quickly looking at this, and you had an interview with Kamal Shami about the Arab view of the foundation. What did she tell you?
So she told me that when the Jews came into Palestine, it was the Arab custom, or the Muslim custom, to welcome your guests and nourish your guests. But the Jews just started kicking everybody out of their home, and they started to misplace everybody, and there was refugees. And she said it was unfair because the Arabs welcomed the Jews and they let them have a place. And also, the Arabs have always lived with the Jews since biblical times.
What interested you about this particular project?
Well,
What did you decide to do
Well, I knew that my family, like I said, my grandmother and my great-grandmother had escaped the Holocaust on a boat to Palestine, and my dad has always been telling me these stories, and I wanted to know more. I wanted to know, what did they do in that land? Why did they go there? And so I just wanted to do it because it was personal.
Can I say, I like to helps like bring in the rest of the performance, so a person isn't just looking at other things and
How did you go about choosing your costume and then your things, your props?
Yeah, so my costume, I knew black was a neutral color. And since I'm having many different characters, I need something that is very neutral to make the hats stand out. I just thought of Englishman, Bevin, and I thought, okay, top hat. And Ben-Gurion, that is a traditional, very Israeli hat. And so he was very Israel-centered. Like, he would not wear any clothes that were not made in Israel. And, well, for the rabbi, that's a religious hat, so.
I'm Jewish too, so.
Yeah. And then the Arab hat, I wanted something that looked, well, Arabic. And so we just went online and we saw many pictures of the Mufti, and he had a hat like that, fez, with something wrapped around it, and so that's what we made. And then I just wanted 2 flags to show. Israeli flag, Palestinian flag, well, it's under the British mandate. And then, actually, we just made this yesterday.
Wow.
You don't.
There was a change of plans.
Oh, that's okay. Look, it's ready in time. That's all that matters, right?
The flipping of that from Palestinian and the British Palestinian mandate to State of Israel right through, it really jumps out. So that was a nice addition.
Really clear.
I was impressed with the number of people that you brought in from this historical years when this massive change happened, and multiple perspectives. Thank you. Very interesting.